everybody, it is Tuesday. Hey, Kelly, welcome to the program. Great to have you here. How are you tonight? Hey, Kitty and Adele. Whoa, everybody's here tonight. Early, too. Michelle is live. She asks a question last night and she shows up live tonight. How about that? Great to have you here, Michelle. And you got, congratulations, Kelly. Follow the Julie rule. Keep on applying for grants. Keep on applying for grants. Keep on applying for grants. Yay, Kelly. Hey, Wendy. So happy to have you here live, Michelle. So happy to have you here. I thought I screwed up when I went live because I didn't have one part of my mic hooked up yet. But my tech crew said I had enough of it turned on correctly. So I am so excited for you, Kelly. Congratulations. Congratulations. That is awesome. That is awesome. That is something to be grateful for. That is our something to be grateful for today. Yes, you just got to keep on plugging away. And I have heard that so much lately. I've heard from people that'll qualify for a second PPP that don't want to go through the paperwork, that'll do things, and it's just like, you gotta keep on doing. You gotta, people. You gotta. We get up every day. Hey, Glenda, how are you? Yes, we get up every day with hope, okay? And this is how we keep on moving forward. This is how we keep on working our way to the other side. Good things are there. Good things are there, and good things are happening to us along our journey. It's a tough journey. No ifs, ands, or buts, my peanut gallery tonight was, when I was confirming the day of the week before, as I was typing, they said, yep, it's Tuesday, still December, still 2020, definitely still 2020. But, we got to keep on doing, and we are. You're amazing, Kelly. That's great. And I'm so happy that Julie's encouragement, pushed you. We're going to keep on pushing you. Michelle, we so need to talk. Michelle, we just need to talk. Michelle, we will find a way, and if not, 20% is good enough for some other stuff. So, there is other good things. There's other good money. We'll make this work for you. We're going to find legitimate ways and make sure that all your numbers are correct. We will recheck your numbers. You're good at clothing and wine, Michelle. Numbers is not your thing. Oh, Glenda, I'm glad you're doing well, and I am too. Yes, it's been a good day. We had our home furnace serviced. I get to buy some new parts, which is so exciting. This was just routine maintenance, but we live out in the middle of nowhere, so they're like, yeah, we got to replace this part and that part. We'll be back again. So it's all good. It's all good. A well-maintained machine will keep us running and keep us warm. So that's good. There's a lot of good going on here, people. There's a lot of good. There is a lot of good. I'm excited for the good that is happening out there. So that is very good. As we start this Tuesday evening, I forgot glasses. Hang on one second. I can't read the Good Morning, Good Night book without my glasses. Lin-Manuel Miranda didn't make a big print book of this. Our buddy Lin-Manuel. All right, I'm back. All right, we've got the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is every night. Oh, Julie's ears must have been ringing. Julie's ears must have been ringing. She's here now. Hey, Krita, you're here too. Great to have you. That is true, Wendy. New parts and better than new furnace or boiler. So I am totally with you there. It is good preventive maintenance. So I'm all good there. So Julie, you're gonna have to scroll up in the comments, but you know, you got credit for pushing and pushing Kelly to keep on applying for grants, and she got one, and she credits that Julie for keeping on pushing her and pushing her. You are awesome. Hello, Jennifer. Great to have you here. So, truly awesome. So the rest of you, keep on applying. Keep on applying. Keep on going for it. The Good Morning, Good Night book. I got my glasses now. Tonight, if you're following along, we are on page 56. Oh, I can't do. This is the one I can't do. Good morning, you Matryoshka dolls. You carry so many versions of yourself around inside you. Take a seat. Chill for a minute. We're gonna go with that. I pronounced that almost correct. The Russian nesting dolls. The Russian nesting dolls. Well, you know, this is exciting stuff. I am glad that we are off to such a great start. So let's go with why Michelle is here tonight. Michelle had asked last night, at the tail end of last night, and I have to be honest, folks, I don't catch all the comments, especially all the replay. I can't find my way to keep up with everything that is up here on social media. I try, but I do not catch all the comments, especially on the replays, because so many of you are watching different days and everything else. But I did happen to see our friend Michelle ask, you know, Neil, can you cover what end of year reports to run? What do I need to run for end of year? And hey, Dana, great to have you here. And while this can be very software dependent, most software, there's a couple of things that you need to do regardless of your software. Excuse me. Regardless of your software. The first and most important thing is, regardless of what system you're using, make an end-of-year backup. Okay, make a backup, you know, so that you have a picture of your business at the end of the year. Hey, Catherine, great to have you here. You want a copy of your business as it existed on close of business December 31st. Okay, so that's really important. That's an important step. Okay, then depending on your software, many of the software packages now today have ways that doing it on the last day of the month. I mean, you go back 15 years and you had to do it on that day to get the exact reports. Most of the systems today, you can get reports looking at pieces of time at any given time. The one report that I would have at the end of the year is the valuation in the system of store-owned inventory. Okay, store-owned inventory as of the end of the year would be the one report, because it can fluctuate. Okay, it's a variable number that can change the next day. Most of your sales reports, all your consignor payables, everything else, that would be the other report that I'd get is a report of consignors pay, what you owe your consignors, you know, as of the end of the year, because that can change very rapidly in the new year. And depending on your software, you may not be able to get that backdated report of what you owed your consignors as of that point in time. I know, Michelle, in your system you can, okay? But in many systems, some systems you cannot. So those are two that I would run. Pretty much everything else that you're going to need, sales reports, anything that you would need, you can run at any given point. So the end of the year isn't this thing. I mean, I remember, many years, having to do everything on December 31st or on the 1st, and be running reports, and in the old dot matrix days where the paper would be coming out the other side and then it would get jammed, and you would have all these things. And so it is that is no longer necessary with the overwhelming majority of the software programs that are available to this industry. You can get just about any report you want at any given point to get the snapshots you would need from an accounting perspective. And if you're doing this on a monthly basis, like most of the reports I run the same reports at month end as I do for year end. Yes, everybody just felt my pain with a dot matrix printer. Everybody, all the reports that I run are really a monthly report, and which yield my yearly reports. So I do not think I will be ready for taxes on January 15th like I was last year. Last year, mid-January, I was at my accountant's office with everything in the middle of January before I was starting off my winter travel. I had a lot of travel last winter. Back in the days when we could travel. I was all set, and I don't think with the amount of extra things I need to figure out this year, I will be all set. So there'll be other tax planning things, because there's going to be a lot of things that we need to look at and see that you may qualify for, and other things. It's going to be an interesting tax year. So, but don't worry. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I loved this quote today. The quote I'm using today, I love this quote. There's a difference between losing and failing. Losing reflects the score. Failing reflects our attitude. There's a difference between losing and failing. Losing reflects the score. Failing reflects our attitude. Hey, Michelle, no worries. Anytime you have a question, you just bring it up. I just wanted to cover for everybody that I don't always, if you leave a comment after the show, I'm pretty good during the show at catching them all. And my peanut gallery actually makes notes for me a lot of times when I read off a note during the show. But I don't always get back to a show afterwards. I just, time. Yes, I remember running consignment checks on a dot matrix printer. That was fun, Kitty. I do remember doing that. I do remember. And I had some fancy dot matrix printers. I've had some really fancy ones, and over the years. So I certainly remember it. I'm okay with laser. Although I was doing stuff today, so you'll appreciate this. I was doing stuff today, and I'm like, I knew that on January's supply list I'd have to order checks, and then I'm like, oops, I need them order them in December because I need them for January. So consignor checks for January 1st. I'm like, I'm not sure I have enough checks, but hey, this too I will find a workaround for. We will make it work. There will be January 1st checks. I love this, just because we need some fun in our lives too. The best out of office reply for 2020. Dear 2020, I know goodbyes can be tough, but this one is really not that hard for me. I want to let you know I've already left. I think it's better this way. I'll be returning on Monday, January 4th, 2021, and by then you'll finally be gone. In the meantime, I'll not be checking your emails or anyone else's for that matter. It's not you, it's me, okay? It really is you. Please let yourself out. I just had to share that. If you got that auto reply to an email, I thought that was good. I thought that was good. What did I want to talk about tonight? I got a couple things I want to talk about. Let me just make sure I find them. Marianne and Carmela are here. Great to have you with us live. If Joanne shows up, we'll have all of Illinois covered. I didn't say it in the right tempo, but I'm glad you found it funny, Julie. Thank you. Now, on a more serious note, our buddy Stevie, he doesn't like to be called Stevie, by the way, Secretary Mnuchin. Hello, Marianne. Secretary Mnuchin says the stimulus, oh, you got snow? That's what I'm telling you, Marianne. Keep the snow. Stevie says that the money is on the way, that the stimulus checks, the $600 per adult and the $500 for your child under 17, the money is on the way, okay? It will start showing up in banks with people with direct deposit starting tonight. So some of you... I think we're supposed to get the rain from it. I think it's supposed to be rain by the time it gets to us. But the checks are, the direct deposits for it have been released, and they are on the way to people. That means people are going to have money this weekend and want to spend it, okay? After you get rid of the snow, get ready for a busy weekend, okay? If people have money, they like to spend it. And unlike the last time there were stimulus checks and the only place they could go to was Walmart and Costco, you are open, okay? So this is stimulus money for you, okay? And coming your way. And freezing rain's worse than snow. So this is a very good thing. People that get things by check will start getting them next week. Okay, again, this is so much of the government, of all the things that are happening with this government, okay, right now, are designed to happen while a certain president is still in office. And this is not being political. I'm not saying that I like Stevie more than, more than Janet, or Janet more than Stevie, okay? But start now. The Welties are here. I can now begin. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, I'm not going back to the Good Morning, Good Night book, Kurt. But it's great to have you here. So, Stevie has your money coming. He's even going to send it to the Welties on the beach. Okay? He said it would find them. It's like Steve is like Santa. He will find you wherever you are. He will load your debit card. Unless you're over 17 and a dependent, like some of my peanut gallery, and they won't find her. I've even tried to explain this to Stevie, but I've had bigger things to explain than my daughter getting money. But that is very good news that people will wake up tomorrow, starting tomorrow. I mean, huge amounts of it are going out. Usually the way this works, not that you're following, that you need all the inner workings of government, but usually it goes by primary taxpayer's social security number. And what I mean by that is think old school computer. We're talking dot matrix here. So it goes sequentially. So it starts with zeros, okay? And social security numbers are based on where you're born in the country. So, yeah. I know I have a zero number. He is like Santa. So it's not like he's sending all $160 billion to us. But that money is very good. So you can expect people looking to spend it this weekend. The wealthies will be looking to cover their bar bill. I don't know, at the beach. I am jealous. I am envious. But it will be here, but it will come fairly quickly. If you got direct deposit the last time, you will get direct deposit again this time. Your sales are up. You're hosed for that. Yes, Kurt, you are hosed. You are hosed for a second PPP, but you are not hosed for streamlined forgiveness. You're not hosed for 10 grand, and you're not hosed for one I'm going to talk about shortly. So stay tuned in because there's more. But wait, there's more. But isn't that good that your business is up and that you're at the beach? Okay? And where is the downside to this, Kurt? Tell me. Get government benefits, okay? What is the downside in being up? I know because I know you. I also know your expenses are up over 2019 because of your move and expansion and everything else. But Stevie sadly does not understand that. What's more is Congress doesn't understand that. So therein lies your problem. But I will have good news for you. So stay tuned in. Stay tuned in. Because there is, well, no, actually, I don't have good news for you. I lied. Being up is good. Where am I going here? So your customers will be checking their bank accounts. They're going to find more money in it, and they are going to go to stores that are open, like yours, okay? Because Walmart and Costco are not the only game in town anymore. So this is very good news. So I'm excited that our buddy Stevie, and again, when you meet him, even when he's not Secretary of the Treasury anymore, do not call him Stevie. I mean, I'm impressed. He actually got his name on money. My name is not on money. My name is not on talk about. I'm going to talk about the ERTC, because the government likes a good acronym. What is the ERTC? Oh, Kurt, it is good. You should tune in live more often. As a good conservative, I must quote Doc Holliday. Kurt, I love you. And we're at a spinach dip here, Kurt, so this stimulus money couldn't hit at a better time. So what is an ERTC? An ERTC. An ERTC, it sounds like a thing. He's got an ERTC. No, an ERTC is an employee retention tax credit. For those of you that remember me talking about it many, many moons ago, you did not qualify for an employee retention tax credit if you also took a PPP. You could either have the employee retention tax credit or you could have a PPP. What if I told you, yes, you, no, not you with the up sales, you with sales that might not be so up, that you could have both a PPP, a second employee retention tax credit? Boom! Mind blown! Blown! And an idle advance. That is like the trifecta quinella, pick six, all like wrapped in together. It's a pick four. You get to pick them all. Yeah. Santa Neil, this is the holliest jolly meal of the year. That's what they say. That's what they say. Yes, 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 you can. Yes, you can. Retention tax credit, the ERTC, give you so we are confusing lots of things here. So I'm going to go slow, and I know we're going to be talking about this for a few nights. So I'm going to try to go slow here, and I know that there's going to be lots of questions. So we're going to cover this over many nights, and I almost didn't bring it up tonight because we're still digesting other things. Okay, so let's take a breath here. Let's take a breath. Festivus, sorry. It's a holiday for the rest of us. Kurt's a Festivus fan. Okay, so Dana, to answer your question. Okay, to answer your question, if you can show a loss of 25% or more during any one calendar quarter of 2020 versus the same calendar quarter of 2019, okay, in gross sales, a 25% reduction in any one quarter of 2020 to any one quarter of 2019, then you do qualify to get a second PPP. Boom, done. Okay? That qualifies you for a second PPP. That is the qualifying, that is the major qualifier. Again, you will want to calculate your payroll, okay, because it is based on payroll. You can use one of two time frames for payroll. You can either use 2019 as you did on the first PPP, which makes your application very easy. You have everything all organized for it already because you already did that application. Or you can use your payroll for 2020. Okay, it has to be for the complete 2020. You can use whichever is greater and benefits you the most. Okay, but make sure you do the math on all the way through, because some of you actually have had, okay, increases in payroll in 2020. Uh, uh, and so that is, you may benefit by using 2020 numbers instead of 2019 numbers. It is your choice for that. Whichever is greater, whichever benefits you more. No, you cannot get another idle. Okay? And I could have a whole conversation about paying people cash, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Your tummy got a little excited, and I don't even have the article about gut. There's a whole thing about the chemicals in your gut is actually what causes your mental issues. Well, see, there you go. See, Michelle is getting better all night for you. Boy, did you chose a good night to turn in live. Hey, you chose a bad night to turn in live, Kurt. What can I say? What can I say? I'll work on getting a wealthy exemption to this bill. I'll see if I can get that written into the next bill. There's so many carve-outs, it shouldn't be hard, Kurt. It shouldn't be hard to get a wealthy carve-out. No, I do not think you have mental issues, but there's actually this new scientific study. Hey, I haven't gotten my scotch yet tonight, Kurt. I have not gotten my scotch yet tonight, but I think I'm going to need it after this. There is a article that I actually have for some night when I have a slow news night that talks about how and yes, Rose is right. And I'm not doing it justice because I'm not reading the article, but it was an interesting article about how the chemicals in your stomach could be causing it. So, what you drink, like Kurt, could be causing his mental issues. But it is the mind-body connection. Again, I am not doing this justice. I am really just winging it. I'm moving on. Okay, so let's talk about, so we've talked about the PPP for a second, and I think you guys are with me on that. Let's talk about the Employee Retention Tax Credit for a minute. The ERTC. There is no boat. I had this conversation with you earlier, Kurt. There is still no. There is Resale Island. There is you on the beach. There is you getting drinks for everybody, but there is no boat. No boats. I am moving on. Okay, so the Employee Retention Tax Credit is a credit that you're able to claim when you have a decline in receipts during any quarter of 20% or more. So anytime in any quarter, okay, that you have a decline of 20% or more, you can claim the Employee Retention Tax Credit. Okay, what does the tax credit get you? Funny you should ask. Okay, it is about retaining employees. And it is a credit that is 50% of the wages through the end of this year, up on the first $10,000, okay, of per quarter of wages per employee, a 50% credit this year. Next year, on 2021, it goes to 70%. So what does that mean? Let's say during the quarter, so the first part of this, let's break this down for a second. Let's break this down. And I know I'm going to have to go over this multiple times. But we'll do one time tonight, and we'll do this again tomorrow, I promise. Okay? It's like the show writes itself. Yes, I am going to repeat that. So during any one quarter, if you have a reduction in sales of 20% in sales or more during any one quarter, okay, during any quarter, you can then claim the employee retention tax credit. Okay, so it's a 20% decline during the quarter that allows you to claim it. Yes, Peanut Gallery.
Can it be the same quarter as the quarter that you give the 25%?
I'm going to cover that. It's not a quick answer. Okay? It is, so during any quarter where you have a 20% decline or more, you can claim the employee retention tax credit. You can use the same quarter that you, for that quarter only. It is a renewable each quarter. You have to have the decline to be able to claim it. You have to have the decline in sales to be able to claim the credit. And it can be used, it is confusing. So it can be either used, and I know this is confusing. This is government and tax rules all roped into one. Yes, 20% compared to the same time in 2019. This deals nothing with employee count. This just deals with payroll. The biggest caveat is you can't claim the same wages, okay, that you used for a PPP for. So you can get a PPP and you can get an employee retention tax credit, but you can't claim it for the same wages. What does that mean? Well, in most cases, okay, if you got a PPP, and under the new guidelines, that'll be in the new simpler application where you're able to hold up your hand and swear that you spent the money properly, you're going to want to use the 8-week timeline, okay? Because you can't have a long PPP, okay, for 24 weeks where you're spending PPP money and claim the employee retention tax credit. That isn't going to work well for you, okay, to be able to get the maximum benefit of this. You're going to want to front load it and use it for the PPP, use up your PPP money, and then claim the employee retention tax credit. Basis per employee is about keeping them employed. You get to keep half the wages. The government is going to reimburse you half their wages that were not used with PPP money, during the quarter. Okay? I know it's simple, but it's a lot of confusing tax law and congressional law here. So it is by its very invention designed to be confusing. Okay? They're actually requiring the IRS, part of the new bill actually requires the IRS to take out an ad campaign to let employers know that they should be taking advantage of it. Do an ad. Okay? It is confusing, and I am going to work on continuing to simplify this over the next couple of nights so that everybody can take advantage of it. But you get, during any time that you're not using a PPP, during any quarter where you have a 20% decline, you can get per employee during 2020, you can essentially get $5,000 per employee. So you get half their wages, okay, during 2020, during any quarter that you weren't using a PPP. There's a lot to this. I'm talking to accountants, I'm talking to bookkeepers, I'm talking to a lot of people on all of this. It is confusing, but it's a lot of money, and it's money that you can get access to fairly quickly. Okay? It's money that the government is designed so that you can get access to it fairly quickly. It is a big deal. You just have to have the reduction in... Catherine, if you never took a PPP, you're automatically eligible for the Employee Retention Tax Credit. If you never took a PPP and your sales are down at least 20% in any quarter, then you are eligible for the Employee Retention Tax Credit regardless. And in 2021, it jumps from half of $10,000 in earnings per employee every quarter to 70% of employee earnings from January 1st to July 1st. How do we apply? It's even simpler. That's the first. This is not to be paid back. You don't have to pay anybody back. You can have it fall out of your pockets if you want to. Just let me know what day you're doing that so I can be following you with a shovel and I will pick it up. I want to be, if anybody has it falling out of their pockets like the Welties, I can be like the guy that was shoveling behind the elephants at the circus. But it's money. Okay, that analogy fell flat on my peanut gallery. This is something you're going to be actually eligible to take right off your 941, your quarterly tax. Gave me a smiley face there. Thank you. It didn't fall completely flat, I guess. This reduces the amount you pay to the government in your federal tax filing. That is how they get it to you quickly. So instead of paying the government on your 941, it reduces the amount you pay. And if your refund exceeds that, you can get an expedited refund from the IRS. There's a way to get an expedited refund on this. So it is going to take... I'm gonna work on some things to simplify this and to simplify the explanation of it, but I had to get it out there because originally this wasn't even an option. It's something that I've worked with bigger companies or companies that the PPP really didn't work for. I have done this with companies early on, worked on the Employee Retention Tax Credit, but most people that I've talked to benefited from the PPP more, okay? But where they benefited from the Employee Retention Tax Credit, right, now that you can get both, if your sales are down, you can get both, it is huge. Right, and Sylvia, that is why they give an expedited refund. So the government will owe you money, and there is a way to request that. And they are to get it to you ASAP. Almost as fast as Stevie's getting this money out this week. It goes back to March. Yes. So I want to say it's March 12th. Hang on a second. Let me just make sure my date. Yeah. So it's sales period starting March 12th. Okay. So it's. Yeah, this is government. This is government accounting. I'm gonna have to do some more sheets on this. I will work up some more stuff on this, but I wanted to get this out there because this is good news for many of you. Okay, it is good news for many of you. Many of you will be able to take advantage of this, and even if you had a good quarter in there, let's say you had a good quarter right when you first reopened. That doesn't preclude you from taking it in a later quarter, okay? So this is good stuff. This is good stuff that will help you. And it's about keeping people on your payroll, on yeah, I mean, it's confusing. It's confusing for software to do it. It's confusing for a lot of accountants to do it. It's confusing for a lot of people to understand. It's confusing me standing up here talking to you guys about it tonight. Okay, I understand how confusing it is. I'm seeing the faces on my peanut gallery. My peanut gallery is right over there, and you know, they're sort of the translator of if what I'm saying is coming across well, because this isn't their thing. Okay, but this is ultimately good because it works with the ebb and flow of what's happening. Okay, you know, if you're in an area that you open back up and sales were gangbusters, okay, you may not be able to get it for that quarter. But then as restrictions came back in place or different things happened and your sales suffered, you will be able to get it again. So it is a good thing. And the fact that we can get this, oh, Kathy, you're great. The eye of the chicken. You know, if you, you know, again, it's going to help you still be standing here, and it's going to help people stay employed. I mean, that is so important that we keep people and keep our communities employed. Which is the other credit that I have to talk about tomorrow. I will talk about it tomorrow again. I've talked about it before, which is the COVID credit for someone who is sick, taking care of somebody with COVID, has to quarantine because of COVID, has their child care, has to quarantine because of COVID, any number of issues. I will cover that credit again for you. And there's been a little bit of a, I talked about it last night, but there has been a little bit of a resurgence of, ooh, I should get unemployment because so I can get the extra 300. And the states are really incentivized to make sure that's not the case. And there are ways to make sure that that isn't the case in your book too. And I want to make sure that I cover that for you again, and so that you all understand it and so that you're all with me. But this is all good news. There's a lot of good things in this for us to help you get to the other side. And so I will continue to digest it. I will continue to break into the minutia and find ways to make it simpler. But the ERTC is by its very nature confusing because of the way it involves tax law and payroll and the PPP and the way it all intertwines. So so that is something we will cover and continue to cover in the days to come, because I want the best you going forward to 2021. This video and everything I talk about and all the supporting documentation goes over to narts.org/resalestrong by noon the very next day. Noon, it's internet magic. Some of you think that, but no. It is Adele and Cassandra behind the scenes, making it all happen and taking notes and just making me look good here. It all happens and it all gets done, and it's all there by noon. Everything on that page is organized, including a direct link to these videos on the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when a new video drops. I know you can't always catch it live. That's okay. That is totally okay. I am here every night in the Narts private Facebook group, live at more 8 than ish Eastern, live in the Narts private Facebook group. That's where you find me every night. If you have a question in between, if somebody else in business has a question in between, you just email me. Email me, Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com. Neil at ECIstores.com. That's where you find me. Oh, Michelle, I'm glad you were here for this too. Don't worry, I'm going to have more. I'm always there for you. We start this program every night with some good news from the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book from our friend Lin-Manuel Miranda, who we are less than 6 degrees of separation from. Just saying, in case he's listening, in case he wants to know and try to figure out how we're 6 degrees from connected. If you were not here at the top of the program, our good morning tonight is on page 56. Good morning, you Matryoshka Russian nesting dolls. You carry so many versions of yourself around inside you. Take a seat. Chill for a minute. Our good night tonight is good night, you Russian nesting dolls. There's your graphics. There's your little Russian nesting dolls rolling all over the place. We sell a lot of those. I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a New Year's Eve celebration. However we choose to celebrate, I will be there with you when we can celebrate in person. I promise you that. I will be there. But until then, know that you, and most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. It's time for dessert and maybe a little scotch. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.